Hello everyone, and I'm back again once more playing Forgotten Hope 2, and tonight I am playing on the Seelow Heights map, which is chronologically one of the last maps to be featured in the Second World War in this game. There aren't really any other battles that partook after this. This was sort of like one of the last battles of the Second World War, or at least on the Western Front anyway. Of course, you know, there's that whole thing of the, well, technically it was the Eastern Front actually, now I think about it, but yeah, the whole Pacific Front was a good couple months afterwards and whatnot. But wanted to explore a bit of the kind of hybrid warfare that was this map, because this map popped up when I was browsing the map layouts, and I thought, this looks interesting to play, and it turns out, yeah, it was. It's a very interesting map, and it's a very fun map. It's a lot of fun because you can just charge through positions and, you know, get to control tanks and stuff like that, which isn't necessarily given on some of the other maps that I've played on. I mean, they've had tanks, but it hasn't been a sort of central focus to everything. I was playing on another map called Battle of Brest, and that map was great. That was a lot of fun, but the AI just, whichever side I play on, they turn into the least effective fighting force on planet Earth. I have a feeling that's something that's built into, like, or not necessarily built into, but it's just kind of a quirk with the game, like how like the AI will just be a little bit more incompetent on your side, because it's like almost like, I don't know, in a way kind of compensating for having a human playing the game, and which is reflected on my absurd KD ratio in these games when I play these games in single player. But again, as I've stated so many times now in the past, it's going to be difficult to be able to play these games online with people, because my ping is going to be so high that I've only really got like single player to sort of showcase the game and show off and talk about it and enjoy it. And enjoy it, I very much have. I've done a lot of sort of like recordings just in case I wanted to do like future videos on other maps. But I'm not sure if I really want to or not. I like having videos that have like absolute resolute starts and endings. And some battles do and some don't. One day I'll mishmash them all together, but I feel like I should rather just stream them instead, or just stream the game instead, and I don't know, see if anyone will come along and watch. I mean, I haven't streamed on my Twitch channel in a good while now. I think it's going back to October of 2022 was the last time I did that. And I haven't streamed this game, I think, since 2018, if I'm not mistaken. Could be wrong though. There is a live stream playlist on my YouTube channel that does archive pretty much every stream that I've ever done. I like to archive those sort of things. Turns out it runs in the family. We all like to archive random things. My brother archives his band's live performances, and I archive my live streams. But I mean, if that's something that people are interested in, I guess I could start streaming again. If, you know, people want to watch them, then fair enough. Keep in mind, of course, you know, given my location is Australia, and a lot of people who are watching this are not from Australia, much to my surprise, it would probably be difficult to arrange a streaming time that is convenient for people to watch. Although that being said, I've managed to kind of make it work before, because thinking about my streaming history, I've largely done them in the mid-afternoon or late evening, usually kind of no in between really. There's like, you know, the mid-afternoon if I don't have work, or, you know, back when I was just in high school, you know, it was a day off or something, or I wasn't doing anything on the weekends, it'd be like, what else am I going to do? But, you know, in more recent years, I've just not really bothered streaming, because I just haven't had the motivation to stream or anything like that. And I guess subsequently my YouTube channel. But anyway, back to this map. This map is like probably one of my favorite maps that I've played, actually. Again, as I stated earlier, it's just a lot of fun because you just get to charge into these battles and just go guns blazing. I mean, the dynamics in the first bit between, like, you know, the vehicles, and then you don't use vehicles nearly as effectively. I mean, as you're seeing here, I'm making a right hash. I'm making a right shit show out of this attempt to try and climb this hill. And I just give up on it, because I just think that the children yearn for the trenches, apparently. I don't know if that's going to be something that's going to be said in 30 years from now, but I guess, I mean, who knows, the way we're going, it might be. I hope not, but hey, who knows. In the meantime, we get to just do some World War II reenactment, just because we can. But yeah, I want to go back again to my further love for the, or ever increasing love for the attention to detail in this game, and finding the weird like changes in equipment and all that based off which, like, where they were, like what part of the war it was and where it was, and just finding all those weird little things here and there. I love it. It's just, again, there's so much attention to detail. And I was actually going back to previous updates for this mod, because I remember it being, I think it was like 2.40 or something for a good while there. And then there was, like, it looks like there was updates that stopped. I mean, you know, this is all volunteer work for us, as far as I'm aware. Like, there are community donations and all that. But it looked like that there was a good, like, lengthy period where there wasn't any updates or anything like that. I'm not sure why. I mean, you know, there's obviously going to be some external factors going on there, and people come and go and whatnot. But I just thought it was just interesting, because, again, I remember this and Project Reality would be getting updates almost, not together, but getting them in pretty similar time frames, and then this game went quiet. And then seeing this game come back and be very active and very prolific with its updates, and you know, having big themes for like key themes for updates. And I guess Project Relay does similar things too, but it's just, I don't know, it's just interesting seeing how the modding communities sort of changed with that over the years. I guess for me, coming out of, you know, hibernation in the modding scene, you know, I've not really had much involvement in it going back for about, I think about maybe 10 years or so now, or maybe 8 years now roughly. So to go suddenly back into it, you know, I guess, you know, you don't really keep track on what's ongoing and what's not. So anyway, on that note, I don't really have much else to add on that point. I'm just going to go back to the gameplay. I do want to try increase the bot count. I did allude to that in my previous Forgotten Hope 2 video, and even my Battlefield 2 Omniscypher mod showcase. I feel like I do want to try that, but I do fear of my game's performance. I'll just say that lightly, considering in some older videos I did actually have the game drop below 60 FPS, so I'm a little bit excuse me. I am genuinely wondering if I should increase that bot count or not, or do a video where I have it like a 64 vs 64 on maybe like Purple Heart Lane or something like that. Because that was one of those maps where like the bots would just sort of stagnate and just stall, and you weren't really able to get any sort of a coordinated assault going. I mean, I know the bots are not very good in these games, but it was still quite frustrating because you wanted to try, you know, kind of almost accurately reenact some of the battles of the war. Like Purple Heart Lane, you know, was a brutal siege of sorts, you know, with lots of, you know, I mean, it was called Purple Heart Lane for a reason. But after half an hour of gameplay, I was just stuck at like the second capture point, and I was just kind of like, okay. I was trying to catch up to this half track, and I thought I'd be left behind, but it was kind of all for naught, because I was getting ready to make a sustained charge on the final assault point, and then we had this magnificent strike on us. I will say, good shot, but unfortunately it meant my attack failed, so I now have to wait 20 seconds for the game to spawn back, and I just opted to just cut that out completely, because I wasn't going to bore people. This video is already going to go above 15 minutes, and I've got to be honest, doing these longer videos is getting a little bit exhausting. I want to be able to do these like shorter gameplay videos, because it'd just be fun, but I feel like I'm almost certainly focusing on the wrong game to do those sort of things, because I got sick nearly 2 weeks ago now, and my throat still hasn't recovered from all that. I mean, my throat has been giving me issues for about a year and a bit now, and it did date back to, ironically, getting sick and then not being able to do vocals for an EP that I do. I mean, my music, it's kind of intertwined. It's literally in my YouTube descriptions, you know, the LMZR project. And we did an EP last February, and I wanted to continue that theme and continue the vocal style explored there. And then, for whatever reason, I just couldn't get back to that after I got sick. And I've not really been confident to attempt it, because, I mean, life at home's been very busy. I've not really had much time for myself to be able to do these sort of things, but, you know, that doesn't help. So, like, I feel like it's probably made my voice a bit better for YouTube, because my voice is finally reflective of a 27-year-old, instead of it sounding like, you know, I sound like a 15 or 16-year-old still. That's kind of the funny thing continuing these videos, is that I probably don't sound that different from my video heyday. It's just that, again, I've had about 6 years of internal progress and jobs and life and friends coming and going to sort of change that perspective. You know, I mean, a lot of people, you know, almost everyone would change significantly in 6 years, but, you know, it's just funny just to reflect on that. And further diving into that, actually, if anything, I was going back through my older videos, and it was really funny just going back through those and just seeing just how unhinged I was. I mean, I'm still relatively unhinged now, but just seeing how, I mean, it was more juvenile more than anything else. Speaking of juvenile, these trench battles, that was cool. We don't get enough of that in these games, but again, the nav meshing for these games is you know, it's not perfect, and the fact that we do have so much single player, I should emphasize this, that we do have so much single player content in this mod, that, you know, you're gonna get dozens upon dozens of hours just dicking around with vehicles, and, you know, different battles and different equipment within those battles, and, you know, different, just everything in general. It's really good, and again, it should be something that should be commended, should be respected, just because, again, as I stated before, it's all largely been done under volunteer work, really, as far as I'm aware anyway. But yeah, back to the videos things. Yeah, it's just funny just seeing all that and seeing how it changed. I mean, I had to change some titles retrospectively, because, like, I just used to video things, at least the title things like Moist Critical did, and I just used to say, like, gameplay, and it would just be me rambling about random shit that bothered me on that week, and it wasn't really tied to gameplay. It wasn't really just being randomly edgy or just humorous and failing for the hell of it. So it's funny going back through all those and just seeing how shit some of those older videos are, and also surprising seeing how many of those videos have like above 1,000 views, and also some rather weird comments. I mean, people have made fun of my voice and among other things, especially one of my most popular videos about my PS Vita review about how dirty that gets. I mean, my room is still a very dusty environment. I live on a place that's built on sand, so supposedly that means stuff just gets dustier. I mean, I guess that's true to an effect, but yeah, things do get very dusty, and that's almost certainly the reason why I didn't do anything beyond that, because it's just something I can't really fix. I can only sort of stem the tide a little bit. But yeah, so we're approaching the final capture point after a good solid few minutes of me rambling. I'm really good at that. That's probably why I work in retail and I do it kind of well, because I can just ramble all day. And that's also why I don't like doing longer videos anymore, because I ramble at work for a good 5 or 6 hours, usually talking to people who don't want to buy things because, you know, people aren't necessarily swimming in money at the moment. And then I go home and I take a toll road home, because the alternative route is 35 to 45 minutes, and people all take that because there's not many arterial roads getting home to where I am. There's like 3, and a lot of people live down here. Well, I mean, I say a lot of people. I'm pretty lucky in Australia. Where I am is only about 100,000 people covering the peninsula that I live on, but you know, it's a lot of people coming back, and taking a toll roads is just a little bit more convenient. It's just, you know, you do have less time to listen to music, but you know, in the scheme of things, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, try to capture this last base. Again, I was really hoping I'd have more AI at this point. I thought holding down the fort would bring people along, but the AI tend to get stuck in other battles and then just die on the spot. Again, like, this is directly in contradiction to my statement at the start of the video saying, like, you know, when some maps, you know, the faction I was playing for was the least effective fighting force, and this applied to both Allied and Axis forces. Like, I wasn't sure why some maps were like that. I'm presuming it has something to do with the gameplay style, and I can't believe I didn't really notice that there was like Conquest Assault and all those sort of things. Like, there's different styles of Conquest which are like stem ticker bleed after you capture certain objectives. I genuinely didn't believe I didn't pay any attention to that, and it's genuinely like a nice twist on the standard Conquest formula, because for this entire time I just thought, cool, I'll just play it like Conquest, but that's kind of not how you do it. You do it a bit more strategically. If only the AI would do it, but then again, that would make it for a killer co-op experience. Like, I need to get people to play this with me. Like, I need to get people to play Battlefield 2 in general. I very nearly did that actually a couple of weeks ago. I managed to get my new former work provided laptop with Battlefield 2, and then my old gaming laptop, which I used to do streams on, that worked a treat. I mean, it still works a treat, other than the battery being at a record low 18% capacity of its original capacity, which I don't believe I've ever seen before. I think I mentioned that in another video though, but it's still funny to bring up, because it's just like, has anyone ever had anything that low before? Excuse me, I had to clear my throat out. My throat just got a lot of gunk in it really quickly, and it was getting very uncomfortable. I mean, that's just further exacerbating or further, you know, putting light on my throat issues. Like, again, it's been 2 weeks, but my throat still feels quite sore and quite, yeah, I would say inflamed. Yeah, it feels inflamed almost. It's very weird. Oh well, maybe if I do have some spare time this week, maybe I can finally lay down those bloody vocals and finally bring out that EP. But alas, I don't really have much else to add on that front, really, other than, yeah, once again, if you do want to download this mod, there are plenty of ways to download it. The game is about 15 gigs, so there's, again, a lot of custom assets, but very much worth it. If you already have a Battlefield 2 install, you know, it will complement that, won't get in the way of that, and yeah, that's really about that, really. It's really funny, because at the moment while I'm recording this, I've got a live stream on in the background of the Battlefield 2 TV bot, excuse me, playing, or streaming people playing vanilla Battlefield 2, and it's so cool to just see people just playing that. I mean, I wish it was back at the Revive Network's heyday when there was like active Australian servers, because that was awesome. Like, I found an old live stream of me playing 2142, and yeah, there was like about 24 people, or a bit more than that, playing 2142 in Australia. And like, I don't think there are that many. I don't even think there is a third of that like actively interested or playing that game right now in Australia. So it's just sad in a way, because again, that Revive Network was really cool, and unfortunately, you know, for whatever they were doing at the time, it just didn't really work out. They just decided to just call it quits. And again, I couldn't quite figure out why. There's like some vague alludements to I don't know, community moderation being a bit too much for the people there, and they're getting abuse and stuff like that, which makes sense because, you know, and whenever a good thing comes along, people are just going to be nasty about it, don't they? That's why we can't have nice things on this earth. The only thing we've got nice is, well, I guess, life, I guess. And that might not even be around for much longer anyway. Yeah, you can still see the pessimistic arc of me shining through in these videos. That's something that's never changed, hasn't it? It probably never will for as long as I do these. It's funny because I'm approaching 50 videos done for the year in the 2 and a bit months that I've started these again. And I'm already about to beat my 2020 tally, so it's, you know, definitely done a lot. I mean, I'm definitely going to get nowhere near my 2016 account, which was 288 videos per year for that year, which was absolutely ridiculous when I think about it. But yeah, that basically wraps things up, guys. The ticket count for the Axis forces is rapidly dwindling. We have captured all the objectives. I hope you enjoyed me rambling about this game and other things for a good 15 minutes or so, or it's approaching 16 minutes actually. If not, well, look, you made it to this point in the video, so you know, not my problem. But I'm about to wrap things up there, guys. I hope you enjoyed tonight's video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.